I'm pleased to recognize that despite of the 2 days long conference and energetic sessions, we have still the hall full of participants. So Kersti and Kerstin, please come forward. It was promised in the morning that all the 3 groups were busy in learning and training, so we received all the answers. So you could see there in front of you on the screen their conclusions. So it should be numerous ideas. And I said that if it's a good idea, then just add all of them there. And the 3 group leaders are in front of you at the moment, and we will deliver the summaries from each of the group work. So we start from Vega. Today's practical work sessions frequenced the ideas from yesterday also, and also the conclusions we learned. And what was a common feature throughout the 3 work groups, it was a kind of understanding in line with Raimo Vuorinen presentation that in the career learning and education, we have a long way to go to improve the paradigm and feel fully that we are all partners in this process, and we are learning together with our students there. And in the first group, this came out through discussing the media role there. And the second group, so this is a kind of, please help me with the terminology. This is a kind of actually the vocation or the choice of career or the choice of profession. The work with those students who have kind of fallen through the net and haven't found a kind of path for themselves. And then the last, it was the pan-European understanding and ideas that we are not teaching students only, but we are working in a team, and we have conditions to do so. And then there was a topic also that from the unemployment agency, this was kind of a media criticism angle from, so searching adequate information from the labor market. It was actually presented in an understandable way that we will choose and pick a tourism trip or visit. And those conclusions were that whether we want to go to the United States or to Ibiza, and it was possible for the participants to exchange ideas. This kind of tourist visit was symbolizing or referring to their choices on the labor market. And as a conclusion, what to take home from here, these kind of complicated and abstract topics, what we are dealing here with, it is realistic to try to process them into a realistic model. And we also understood that this work group also enlarged our understanding that this is not a challenge only in career education, but it is applicable in any other sector. And then in the second work group, the colleagues from Innova introduced the annual planning strategies, and we focused on the support needed by students, specifically to try to connect the personal abilities and self-understanding with the prospects in the working life. And Katrin also introduced the mandatory or the compulsory module that is implemented at the moment, so that the young people could actually get the bearings in the realistic life and work life over there, to tap on the entrepreneurship gene in each student, and to stress that we have to develop the entrepreneurship gene in ourselves, because the external world is changing it very quickly and we have to cope with it. And the last working group, we talked about the how to better support the European measures and European sphere. So the free movement of labor in Europe and also in the economic area countries. So, and in our general educational system, this kind of facet is absent at the moment. And we focused on the practical level, how to develop the curriculum. And there was an input by Anthony Mann, so that we could let loose the 19th century ideas and perceptions. We felt we were quite outdated in some aspect here, and then we tried to coin 3 main ideas that to be in the ICT era and more modern. And then very quickly reviewing it, I will not leave any valuable idea unmentioned here. Okay, the next speakers. Thank you very much, and thank you for the excitement and the interest here.
Nüüd töötab, aitäh.
Thank you. Together with Margit, we are quite similar also in our appearance. We started to compare our notes, and we have very similar words as well. And I attended a workshop. The title is very complicated. I can't even memorize the title, but this is not important. What is important, these are the key words that I picked out. And what we talked about yesterday, what Raimo said in a nice way in Estonian and in Finnish, so village towers into bridges. Yesterday when we had Beelis Pavel and Christine Winter here, we have more towers, kind of. We need more systematic cooperation, not between ministries only, and not between the Unemployment Insurance Fund and Innova, but also between schools, vocational schools, universities. This is what we talked about. Another key word is prevention. Kristel and Monica in their morning workshop brought it out nicely. If young people had career management skills, then perhaps the need for career counselor would be much smaller than it is really today. And I think thanks to today and yesterday, we have more career specialists who are aware of those different opportunities and are able to transfer the information to their young clients and adults with whom they are in touch on a daily basis. And the third key word is awareness. we as specialists, what do we know? And are we able to share this information or this knowledge? But it came out very clearly from the last workshop. The title was "Ask and You Will Be Given." So what do our parents know? All parents who are here today in this room, they are very good experts and they can support their offspring. But all these other parents, how knowledgeable are they, and can they listen to their children and accept different choices and wishes of their children? That's another thing. And they too need some kind of support. And the fourth keyword is learning from experience. This is something that we have been doing for those 2 days, but I would like to divide these experiences into two. First of all, experience as blunders or mistakes. Estonians, we worry too much. We worry about our job, and well, the word worry means you get a job, you get a child. You don't have to worry so much if something went wrong. But you need to be able to learn from this. If something really turned out not well, then you have to learn from it. And secondly, our second workshop, we talked about migration, labor migration. This also gives you very good career management and career design skills. To be creative, to be able to make the right choices. And international experience supports this very nicely. And those who are a bit afraid to go abroad to work or to study, or afraid that their child might go there or their partner, we also heard that take this foreigner or foreign student to live at your place in your house. And what was underlined that this international topic, you have to understand it really well, because maybe it doesn't suit all of us. So first of all, you need to know more about it before you dare to go to get international experience. Maybe, yeah, the formulation perhaps was a bit confusing, but yes, four keywords. As to international experience, I'd like to continue along these lines. I think many of you have been on study tours through academia, and once you have had this experience, you go to the airport, you try to say your first words, you have to find the way in a strange town. If a career specialist has this experience, then they are already more professional and more convincing support to our young. But indeed, preventive work was my key word. I would like to broaden it, expand it a little bit. I had the pleasure to be with our international colleagues from Malta, Slovakia, and Austria. And I think Dorian's words triggered that their unemployment fund head is a businessman or an economist, and he's very committed and believes that all kind of preventive work in career work has an economic impact or benefit. And this really is very important when we prepare our work and prepare our strategies. Secondly, what also was very practical, and I think I felt a certain amount of envy, this thorough work shadow experience that was also in many cases 5 days in Malta. 50 companies or 50 enterprises come to school, and all students get this experience. Well, maybe it's work shadow, but this is trial, or you can go to the company, go to the enterprise, and there are enterprises who are ready to take their students. And this was what we heard from many tables, that perhaps our work shadow day should also be more systematic and more thorough. And also, the first workshop touched upon training. Also, our practical examples. Our Austrian colleagues are from a university, and Malta has a university background, curricula developed in universities. So, be it a career trainer, career coordinator, whatever the title, it is not something that has been invented in Estonia only, but they have very in-depth training programs so as to stay up to date. I think this is something that we need to pay attention to in Estonia. And last but not least, repetition. We need to be consistent, continuous, systematic. There were a lot of examples, role or sharing or defining roles, whether it's regional, in community, in schools. So systematic and definition of roles, that we know who does what, sharing information, transfer information, having joint projects. A whole school approach was a term in English. And in order for the work to be consistent, so that it doesn't depend on projects, programs, or single initiatives, that the experience that has been gathered is passed on and is used and utilized in the future. That was also brought out on several occasions. And furthermore, this one-off meeting versus process, also on the level of the client, as Anthony Mann pointed out, you're doing things nicely, but do even more. If we could could try and be more individual, focus on the individual. I think this is all from our workshop. I don't know how it was all put down in writing, but obviously you have questions that what will happen with these recommendations in the future. We looked at each other. We can't change the world, but we can give you a promise that in our agencies, in our organizations, we will summarize all these ideas, we'll make a conclusion, and we'll ensure that in our organizations and with our people, these ideas reach the right people, be they policymakers, be they, yes, Kristi Winter from the ministry said there is time to sit down and discuss things together. And of course, we want to spread the words. We have this online coverage, slides, publications, so that it would reach the broader audience. And in addition, Kersti has started in our teachers' newspaper. There is a special edition in mid-February. It will be published, and we will have a lot to tell there. So if a person from a local government or from the school is not aware what has, then he will get the information. Right. And I'd like to sum up this cooperation, because when I started to count all the people who have contributed, then I think that half of the list of the participants, half of them had to do something in order to make this conference happen. And I think this is one of the specifics of our field, because we can't do much alone. We have to learn from each other. We have to share information. That is very important. And yesterday you saw 11 different people, different stakeholders, and it is really very important that their voice is heard. And the young people as well, Tia Thompson in this opening speech, and naturally our main speakers, keynote speakers, Anthony Mann and Raimo Vuorinen, their kind of generalized approach, but they outline the trends, similarities between different countries, and this is again food for thought for us. I'd like to start from our foreign presenters. I'd like to invite them to take the floor. I'll give them a hug, and they have been so kind to come here and to share their practical experience with us. Pavel, Barbara, Dorian, Stefan, will you please step forward? Margit, Markus. Applause, yes. We have a little souvenir ready, so that you would remember that you were in Estonia. I found here we had people who couldn't come and attend, but we had other people to step in instead, and we were lucky. A very important role. All the discussion leaders, the conductors of workshops, I'd like to invite them to take the floor, and please give them a clap, applause. Monika Sotrop, please. Kristel Länsari, Kadri Avandi, Silja, Monika, Marta, Aleksander, Kadri, Johanna, Katrin, Virve, Kerli, Lili, Tiiu, Heli, Ave Vilu, Marja, Liia Varendi, Kairi Valk, Keit Müül, Kristel.
Kristel käis.
Kristel told me that she didn't feel good at first, but I would like to thank her enormously because she suggested this notebook idea, and really she has been very instrumental. You can continue with the applause. But special thanks to my organizational committee, these women who said, let's do it, let's get it done. Kersti.
Kersti Kivirüüt ja Anna Kramberg. Et kui poleks olnud neid naisi, kes oleks öelnud juba suvel.
Without them, they said already in summer that let's do it, let's set our goals, and this is a worthy cause. Without them, we wouldn't have this event. In addition, I would like to thank Archimedes communication team. Somebody was interviewing people, somebody was taking photos, making sure that things happen. Greta, Tiina, Anja, and Carol, big thanks. Some of them have left, but I think that you can follow us online. And they are working hard to publish this photo gallery, and they will support in every way so that the message will reach a wide audience. Also a video team, so many cameras, screens, everything went well. And Maria Jürimäe, I'll try to remind you this runic song and greetings to Maria. And also, thanks to our interpreters, the interpreters are thanking back. That's all for today. I would like to say if you saw something that you think is valuable, then please share, because I suppose your colleagues want to know what happened. So let's continue the good work.